Hello and welcome to Who Corner to Corner podcast. My name's Geoff and I'm joined as always by my good friend and co-host Paul. Good evening.
Hello. How you doing, Geoff? You all right?
Yes, I'm good. Good. How are you?
Good, lad. Smashing. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Good. And we have a returning guest friend with us tonight, Mr. Jonathan Wilkins, who is the editor of the Titan Doctor Who comics range. Good evening. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well. I'm just here to see how Frontios ends. I want to know what's going to happen because as far as we know, the TARDIS is gone. So,
indeed,
that's it. So that's surely the end of the series.
It must be. Yeah, I mean, what a cliffhanger that was. TARDIS destroyed utterly. Nothing but a hat stand left. Oh my goodness.
Well, we're just about to start watching and commentating on part 3 of Frontios, and I will say that when we recently did one of these with our duo, as you might have heard, Jonathan, we ended up talking a whole lot of nonsense, good nonsense, including ghost stories, which I was absolutely here for. So if this goes off track, it does not matter. So what I'm basically saying is let's have some more ghost stories tonight. Before that, as well, behind Jonathan, viewers, if you're just listening, you need to head over to the YouTube version and check this out. But behind Jonathan is a rather impressive collection of character options Doctor Who figures. And if you go back and have a look at our Frontios Part 1 and 2 commentary episode, and then compare and contrast with this one, you'll notice that a figure has moved and is no longer present, or perhaps in a different position. And if you can correctly identify which figure and let us know, the first comment that we get will win a very special Who Corner to Corner badge.
Whoa. I'll tell you what, actually, those Who Corner to Corner badges are very short supply now.
They really are now, yeah.
We've only got 4,000 left, so
that's incredible.
We'll have to send you one, actually, Jonathan. We'll sort that out.
I was going to enter the competition to see if I could win it. That sounds brilliant. I might get second place. You never know.
So do let us know if you manage to figure out which figure is wandering.
The figure.
I will do a countdown. Will I count up to 1, 2, 3, and then we can hit play, and we can get stuck in. So 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Starfield. I love this guitar theme. I really
it's
do.
great, isn't it?
Peter Howell's finest. Yeah.
We don't
punchy.
We don't get the face.
What do you say about the face, Geoff?
In the modern series, do we?
We had it briefly back with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, didn't we? I think as some sort of ghosty
did
outline.
Matt have it? Yeah. Capaldi did, and there was one episode with Clara's eyes when it was.
They just replaced the face, basically.
But would you like to see the face return?
Yeah, it's kind of staple. Yeah,
I wonder why they don't do it. Maybe.
I guess it's quite old-fashioned, I suppose.
Yeah,
maybe.
But I'd love to. I think Shooty would be fantastic, especially if he winks.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need a wink.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of shows don't have theme tunes or title music these days.
It just goes straight in.
Yeah.
Well, it either goes straight in or it's just got skip intro. Like I was watching 911 and Dr. Odyssey with my wife recently. Neither of those shows have a title. They have just a title graphic and a sting of music, and there's no cast list or no titles or.
I think it's kind of changing viewer behaviour, isn't it? This whole streaming thing of skip intros, skip recap, and all that. And skip watching credits. I love watching the credits, and I had to switch off all my streaming services, where they all have this countdown to the next episode starting, which obviously only goes on for like 5 seconds. I had to switch all that off just so that I can, 1, actually watch the credits, and 2, not have the anxiety of trying to find the back button or the exit or come away from that. Just watch credits button in time, so it doesn't go straight into the next episode.
It's a big part of the the atmosphere of a show is fine. Having that title sequence that takes you into that world. It was like when they changed the Bond films so the gun barrel wasn't at the start. No, that has to be at the start.
Gotta be at the start.
That sets you up for what's to come. So it's kind of unfortunate, but
do you know what?
look at this. Wow.
I think it was only one film they did that, was it? Or
there was a couple, and it was every time. We're just mixing it up. No, you're ruining it.
Actually, it was Daniel Craig, wasn't it? And I took it as when the Bond theme finally kicked in. I think it was like the end of Quantum of Solace, and it's like, was it? I've got to think now, but it's like he's earned his 007. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it took it right back to the roots, didn't it? That's how I looked at it. Anyway.
I remember watching like Buffy, and halfway through a series, the title sequence would get an update because they'd obviously shot new stuff to be able to put in it.
Yeah.
So you'd get a little preview.
Oh yeah, well they use clips of the show.
It's always exciting.
Yeah.
Turlough doesn't look well here, does he? Just bring it back on Frontios.
Look, hang on, we're about to get some cricket
magic.
This is quite good, like the Doctor using a bit of that cricket expertise there.
So these guys can manipulate gravity, isn't it? I think that's the big thing about this. And that's why they can sort of move
crushed him with
boulders.
his giant.
How's that?
Brilliant.
Quite interesting sets.
That's good.
It's quite unusual that they turn the lights down, isn't it? I mean, this is like mid-80s Doctor Who, and we do have an attempt at some quite dark and mysterious caverns.
Yeah,
so they're very different. The caves are very different to what we would get a couple of stories later in Caves of Androzani. It's got a good sort of good
shiny, kind of metallic almost, aren't they? I don't know if it's even that. It's the Doctor's on the floor now, and Tegan's trying to pull him on.
She's wearing very, very appropriate clothing for the adventuring, isn't it?
Dig those heels in and watch that skirt, because it might not end well.
When you think in Tegan's experience, you would think actually something a bit more practical might be...
Far off world adventuring, I think I need to wear a jumpsuit or something. Not one piece.
Yeah.
Turlough's gone into one now, isn't he? He's gone into this race memory thing.
The green torch things really kind of help make it eerie, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. Yes.
So
it's atmospheric.
Jonathan, when Al was on before, what were we watching, Paul?
I can't remember. What was it? The Demons? Was it the Demons?
Yeah. And we ended up talking about ghost stories. So because that was cracking, I'm going to put it to you. Have you ever had any spooky encounters?
Spooky encounters?
I had none. Al had some great ones. We did get a bit shitted up.
Really?
Paul.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I've got this horrific feeling you're going to tell me that Al's all the toys came to life, and
that would be good.
which is a bit scary considering what's behind me.
Hang on, that Cyberman's moving.
There's a nice bit of.
I love that.
A bit of matte painting there.
But yeah, ghost stories. Nothing springs to mind, but if any repressed memories come back, of course I'll shout out and probably burst into tears. Thankfully, you should. My wife is more into all that stuff. She's quite interested in all the spooky goings on.
I'll just to bring it back on the front, because I've just noticed something while you're talking about that. So what we've got here is a colony like at the end of the universe, and it's far future, and there's not many humans left and all that kind of thing, right? What I love, and it's just come through some of the dialogue just there between these guys, is that we've got there's a kind of superstitious element, isn't it? It's almost like things have kind of gone backwards in some ways. We've got looting going on. We've got these weird kind of myths of monsters in the earth and the planet being eaten. They say they eat the planet or stuff like that, and people are afraid of the dark. So it's no matter, it's almost like to say no matter how far advanced humanity becomes, we're still scared of those things at the back of our mind, which are all kind of happening around on this weird planet. Well, indeed, there you go. I was trying to join the dots in some way to make what you're saying relevant.
It's quite. I mean, it would be terrifying, wouldn't it, if you're, the last humans and you're on a small colony. Presumably, these humans will sort of go on to be the humans in Utopia later on. Which nobody ever points this out, but is the darkest Doctor Who story ever made.
It's pretty dark.
What happens to the humans? They become the ultimate fate of humanity is they become
minced.
They become those balls that travel back in time and attack the rest of, kill the other human, and that's what happens to humanity. That's the last we see of humanity in Doctor Who. That's
it's
brutal.
Toclophane or something, isn't it?
Yeah, the Toclophane. It's
heads
really
in a floating sphere.
And I think that I mean we're kind of distracted by all the goings on with the Master, but that story is really really dark.
Think about it.
Pretty dark. Yeah.
They were a Dalek replacement, weren't they? For Series 1 if they didn't get the Daleks. Yeah, they were going to have the Toclophane. It
was like Series 2 or 3 though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they were planned for Series 1.
Yeah, they were going to use this. Oh, I got you. Yeah.
If they didn't get Daleks usage.
See, look, we got regressive or retrograde humans. Isn't it? So again, it's that idea of sort of looking backwards, a slide into barbarism almost. And the authorities are quite happy to let them beat the guy to pulp, because who wants looters, But I'll tell you what puts me in mind of. Have you ever read Peter F. Hamilton's book? Was it The Newtonian Alchemist? His first novel, I think. Is that what it's called? It's one of those anyway. Anyway, Peter F. Hamilton book where there's it's about humanity colonising other worlds. And there's something really weird about those other worlds. It's almost like the Martian Chronicles, the Ray Bradbury story as well, where it's like, you've got a displaced group of people in an alien environment, and that alienness really comes through. And I think it's here in Frontios. And I remember watching this the first time round, really getting that vibe. And it was kind of freaking me out. And Turlough, as much as he's kind of overacting a little bit, that helped sell that weirdness and the alienness. So it's almost like no matter how ridiculous the monsters look, the Tractators, because you can't hide the fact they do look a little bit ridiculous, there's still that fear that's so deep. It almost, the comicality of the Tractators almost in a way sells it. It's just like it's just nightmare fuel, this story, I think, really on a really deep level.
Do you think the Tractators look silly?
Did I say that? Yeah, I might have done. There's something very odd about them. I think there's a good attempt for them to look disgustingly alien and powerful, but I think
they're fine when still, but I think when they're moving, movement.
They got little flappy arms, haven't they?
The little flappy arms
and the little skirt thing at the bottom. I liked it.
A little skirt thing.
This he's gone now. The guy who's the one in charge. He looks like Roger Daltrey. I'm finding it a bit distracting now.
Roger Daltrey.
You mean Peter Gilmore?
Peter Gilmore, you're brazen.
Yeah.
Do you know what? He might have even based himself on the Roger Daltrey look, because it's not far off that, is it? Really? What was there? Those in the 60s and 70s, right? And he was in the O'Neillian line in the 70s, very much looking like he does now.
And I believe, if I remember him right, that Roger Daltrey was one of the contenders for the role of Sharaz Jek in Caves of Androsani.
I'd heard that as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is very odd. I mean, it's a very weird...
John Nathan Turner stunt casting.
Yeah, get a famous musician and make them wear a mask the entire...
Yeah.
Fine.
My dad's participating in a fishing tournament that Roger Daltrey's doing soon for I think it's a charity thing, and my dad's team is Theo Paphitis on it and possibly Eric Clapton.
Oh wow!
Because they either go into golf or fishing when they finish rocking and rolling.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So again, here we've got the guy who survived being eaten by the Earth. It's that weird, primitive kind of superstitious thing going on. The myth. It's like You know, it's like this is a place where everything's bubbling. It's like where myths and legends are kind of folklore and tales of the unexpected are all birthed.
Got very pristine uniforms. It's a lot of the shows around this time, and not so much now, but these are all, you know, the Second World War was obviously in living memory for some of these actors at the very least. So they kind of play it that way. It's very, you know, still that shadow cast across entertainment at that point.
Always keep your boots shiny and your belt buckle clean, sparkling.
Yeah, like you're at the end of the world, but
spit and polish.
Yeah, it's
So this is the reveal of the conspiracy theory that's been kind of bubbling through, isn't it? Or at least they're part of that story. This thing of secrets being kept by the officers, or the leaders, the people in charge. Turlough's still looking a little bit seedy. Someone get him a bucket. You don't look well.
He's doing that look off camera, isn't he? Just
Their forces dug at our bodies, dead or alive. I think this is grim, you know. I think this is dark stuff. It's kind of where we end up watching it now, isn't it?
I love their helmets. So, Jonathan, what are you working on at the moment for the comics? What can you tell us?
Here we go. The interrogation begins.
We'll just get you in a nice safe space and we bring out the big guns.
There's a big announcement coming up soon. But yeah, we've got another series of Doctor Who coming for later this year. What can I tell you? I can't tell you much more than last time, I'm afraid, but there is an announcement coming soon. I
wonder if do you know when it's due? Because by the time we put this out, which will be after the series has run, I wonder if the announcement might already have come out.
I wouldn't like to say. I think we are going to wait until after the series because we like to make a splash if possible. Everyone's watching the new series at the moment. Transfixed, so hopefully everyone's watching.
Well, that's exciting. I'm pleased to hear that there's some more coming.
Yeah, and it's absolute blockbuster. Yeah, it's going to be good. Oh, look at this! Look, these guys. Yeah, look, these guys in their cages.
Yeah, and their big Zuba balls.
Yeah.
Or what they call them on Gladiators, atmospheres.
Atmospheres.
What are they called? Zorb balls,
something like that. Zorb balls. But this is way before any of that was even a thing. This is back in 84, isn't it? Exactly. Doctor Who invented Zorba balls. I still think there's a really unsettling vibe with this. I know, there's a lot of talking going on here as they're sort of discussing this whole thing about the secrets that have been kept and whether it's morally right to do that and add to rumours and what have you. But, and in the meantime, we've got this thing going on with, an increasing view of the world of the Tractators and not really understanding what they're about and what they're after, if anything. And the Doctor is sort of telling us that they're insects, or they're insect-like. They fashioned this incredible tunnelling system throughout the planet. It's just I just love it. I just think that the weirdness of it all is just.
And there's a strange sort of uncanniness into the fact that they waited. They were on the planet for a while, and then the bombardment started, and the idea of the Tractators sort of waiting for their moment, I think, is really really kind of sinister.
Yeah, because they're planning, aren't they? It suggests an intelligence. It's like that opening to War of the Worlds. Eyes with a keen intelligence greater than ours or something.
Yeah.
Studied and watched and waited.
So did we?
It's interesting. It's not. Again, it's one of those episodes, one of those stories that is very overlooked, I think, and it's I know there's some absolute epics in this season.
Yeah.
But but yeah, this to me, this really is one of my favourites, if not my my favourite of the year.
Yeah, I do remember watching this, thinking, that Doctor Who had suddenly seemed elevated somehow. I mean, almost. I mean, I kind of really got into Doctor Who with Warriors Gate and Legopolis and stuff like that. It was season 18 that really got me involved in it, and I never thought afterwards that it really seemed to reach those what I would call heights again until we kind of got to this, and then it seemed to exceed it, because it was all the action adventure and Doctor Who-y stuff, the fast-paced stuff, but with the kind of depth and sort of more complex narrative structure that Warriors Gate and Legopolis and even Castrovalva kind of had.
Yeah,
which is probably down to Chris Bidney, to be honest, isn't it? Because obviously he's the writer. That's common throughout all these things, I guess.
It was the concepts, I think, of the
Think
of the Doctor Who. I think Philip Hinchcliffe obviously would try and think of a concept, and it was that concept, and it you wouldn't always get the greatest monsters, or the sets were not always but the concept was enough for you as a viewer to
maybe that's it.
Take it all on board. I think it's. Great, but that's exactly the same time I got into Doctor, and then you had that Five Faces season, and that was just amazing. It was such a clever move of J&T to do that.
It really was,
especially
that sold it to me, really. I was just because it was like I'd always been aware that Doctor Who was on, and I said on the podcast before, I remember vague memories of things like the Ark in Space and Brain of Morbius and various other stories. But it wasn't really, I never used to sit down and watch it week after week. I'd watch it if it was on for 5-10 minutes, or until my dad changed over the channels or whatever it was. But it was only when, that towards the end of season 18, I really started to want to watch it constantly. And then just as I was getting into it, it was off air for it was a long time. It was a long break, wasn't it, between Tom Baker and the start of Peter Davison.
It was like a 9-month break or something like that.
Yeah, it's longer than usual. And of course that, as you said, that's when they put that Five Faces repeat season on. One story from every Doctor, and it was just brilliant to see all those old things that I just this age of Doctor Who that I just never seen, never knew about, because I've been reading the Target books, but suddenly now I was watching it, and it was magical.
Because also Tom had been Doctor Who for 7 years at that point, so to remind people, there were other Doctors, was probably a good idea.
I suppose back then you wouldn't have necessarily known, really, would you? Because
I think
you didn't have
if
videos.
You were a Doctor Who fan, you'd have known, but you wouldn't have seen necessarily. Because I never saw any John Pertwee. I was born towards the end of his run, and I just wouldn't have remembered any of those if they'd have been on TV, just way too young. So it was only ever Tom Baker. So it was a good move.
I mean, of all the episodes in this story, I have to say this is probably the weakest story, because it is. I mean, episode 3 is generally sort of get the pieces into position for the final. It's a tough one, part 3, but.
It is, but I think, I think there's still enough story. There's obviously this is why we got the B plot of the conspiracy theory, haven't we? The files that nobody's allowed to. What do they call it? Unaccountable deaths or something. Deaths unaccountable. That mystery.
I thought you were going to say.
And we got the weirdness of. And Turlough doing his weird thing again. The whole idea, again, that's another thing, isn't it? The whole idea of a race memory that's shared across an entire people, and so deeply implanted that when it activates, it can change your behaviour and reduce you to a quivering wreck, a sobbing nightmare, a shadow of yourself,
No, I think Turlough was a great companion, actually. I know it was like, he's trying to kill the Doctor and all that stuff, but once you get past that, and he's kind of spiky and a bit difficult, and he's quite alien as well. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it's a shame that not every story that he's in really seems to know what to do with him. There's a lot of stories where he's kind of shoved away because nobody's really certain. But I think actually, in this story and for the rest of this series. Well, it's only in 2 more stories after this.
Yeah.
I think we get a good we get a good idea of him. And I think actually when Turlough left, I thought that's quite sad. Just almost felt like I was just getting to know him. Could have done a bit more Turlough really, and seen him outside of his stupid school uniform all the time.
Yeah, I like that idea of a companion who might just run away.
Yeah,
I think that would be all of us, frankly.
The uncertainty. Yeah.
He might just run away. I mean, I love that scene in Fall to Doomsday when Tegan just thinks I've had enough of this and gets in the tide and tries to leave. It's like
totally thinking about itself.
Yeah, but it's a very real thing,
Flight response almost. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Classic
hanger
incoming.
Oh, look at that!
It's Max Capricorn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's grim, isn't it?
That's pretty.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's literally the head stuck onto the machine so the brain can drive it, but I think he suffered brain death or something, so they need a replacement for the old captain. So he's the old Captain Revere, who mysteriously disappeared a while back. He's literally wide into the machine. Now that in the novelisation of Frontios, because I know Chris Bidley wanted it to be really full of blood and to look grisly and really, really nasty, and it is that in the novel. He's put it in, but they don't. And what I was going to say is they don't quite achieve that with the cardboard machine that they built in the studio, but it still gives the impression of something pretty grisly and nasty, I think.
But it's funny because, again, like we were saying last time, it's like Chris Bidley, who used to be script editor, should have realised that wasn't going to wash in a kid's show on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You've got to kind of be a bit more subtle about that. Yeah. It's a pretty it's pretty grim as it is, though. I think.
I did love it though. I mean,
it's such a bizarre. This is such a bizarre.
When this was out.
Yeah. It's such a bizarre concept though, because it suddenly, they're hollowing out the they're going to pilot the thing around, and it's kind of hang on, that's Dalek invasion of. Dalek invasion of Earth.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they're trying to steer it around the planet, aren't they? Yeah.
Right. Shall we do? Oh, it automatically counts through to the next.
It will automatically go through. Yeah. I'm on 6, 5, 4. Yeah, we're about the same, aren't we? There we go. So from that grisly cliffhanger, how's this all going to play out then? Eh? I wonder.
I don't know. There's a lot to resolve.
There is indeed. Yeah. Not the least of which is what's happened to the TARDIS, because we haven't really had much on that, have we?
No, that's destroyed. We've not seen that again.
Yeah.
Never seen again in Doctor Who.
Doctor's stranded at the far end of the universe. With nothing but
I just had a look, and there's no action figure for a Tractator.
So that needs to be sorted out, doesn't it?
Come on.
I'll just text Alan and I'll ask him, is that the next character online exclusive?
And just in case you missed it, kids, here's the head in the machine again. It's a corpse, not exactly.
Wow.
It's a living mind enslaved in the middle of all that. Yeah, grim.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's expression as well. That guy's dead, but they're just using his brain power.
They've got quite a few Tractators knocking around here now, haven't they?
Yeah.
They
had
have.
a whole dance troupe, didn't they?
Do the Tractator.
You
know what though, Peter Davis is really good in this.
The Gravis, which is brilliant. Yeah.
Well, judging by the recent developments in Who, he's called the Mavis now. It's mavity.
Jonathan,
I think you should do a
mavity.
Mavity.
I was trying to let that go. Try not to acknowledge it.
Come on, Mavis. Here we go.
I think you should do a 15th Doctor comic series with the Tractators.
I would love to.
How do you know I'm not doing that already?
He says as he scribbles down, Tractators back in the comic.
and they've evolved slightly, and now they're like more agile, less flappy.
Yeah. See, they could be in comics anyway, couldn't they? You know, you can get some really, because I mean they look. In a way, it's all the features are there, aren't they? With a scaly back, with a bit of hair and the bulby eyes and the disgusting mouth and the antenna and stuff.
They got little.
It's all there. It's not quite coming together, but drawn brilliantly with a bit of dynamism and some angles. That would be pretty cool.
We could giga them up and make them.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
I love the ears.
Make it really.
Just little ears there. But no, Peter Davison's really good because he, you know, I get a feeling as an actor, it's not something that he would necessarily be drawn, you know, naturally to this kind of stuff. But I think he's really good, and he's so sort of so kind of funny. Peter Davison's Doctor, I always think there's a lot of humour there, you know.
Especially in this series and this story here is. I mean, he's really goading the Gravis here, isn't he? You know, and having a lot of fun doing it as well. It's like, you know, it's that element of the Doctor that we see a lot of in the modern series, and we used to see a lot of with Tom Baker as well.
Yeah.
Not so much with Dick Davison.
I mean, I love the fact he's also goading Tegan as well.
Yes, you know,
exactly. She's an android, but she's a cheap one. You know, see the accent's not quite right. All that stuff is brilliant. Great stuff.
And I think also, given the relationship that they have off camera, it's probably a bit of fun for them as well, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she you know, Davis always used to say that he wished Nyssa had stayed on and Tegan had left originally, but I think Tegan is the better assistant. You know, in the same way, I think. You know, Belinda and 15 are a good combination, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out.
They seem good together, yeah. How much do you know? You don't have to say anything, obviously, but how much do you know about the new series, Jonathan?
I know absolutely nothing, I'm afraid.
Nothing.
I watch it. I know that there's the TARDIS, and there's a mysterious traveller known as the Doctor, and a plucky young assistant who's helping him out. Yeah, but I who knows?
You were going to say, you know, that Mrs. Flood is the Rani.
Who knows? Mrs. Flood's Anita Dobson, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I just commented on Twitter the other day.
Is that what you put? Is it?
Yeah, someone said, who do we think Mrs. Flood is? And I said, well, Anita Dobson, obviously. You ain't see me, right?
You ain't see me, right?
You ain't see me, right?
So we got a rebel uprising as well, haven't we? With the retrogrades taking over.
Yeah. Someone on Blue Sky, I think it was Baggy, said, "Oh, I knew I'd heard that, you know, that saying before because I put the you ain't seen me, right? GIF." And I said, "Oh, were you very, very drunk when you heard it? Poisonous monkeys."
With my reputation.
Me, the 13th Duke of Wimborne, alone in a nunnery.
See, again, fast show comments are of a certain age, aren't they?
Yeah.
So where are these guys up to now? They're gone for a wander through the tunnels looking for Plantagenet, I guess, is it?
Yeah.
The leader, Geoff Rawle, who apparently I was looking at was in an episode of Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, really?
The Mona Lisa episode, apparently, yeah. It's that green light again that Geoff loves.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is good. It gives a real atmosphere, like we said. And those Blake 7 helmets again.
Oh, yeah. You can see a bit of recycling. Oh, he's got the glasses on again.
There we go, yeah.
Please ask Al, can we have a fifth Doctor figure with the glasses?
With the glasses, yeah.
It's on my shopping list of that and Meglos. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Apart from every other character they haven't done yet.
So he's just been attacked by the machine. Slightly. The wires are just ready to stab into his skin and get into his veins and everything. So there's an asteroid. There's an asteroid belt in the same system as this planet then, and so they're just pulling asteroids down. See, that's a nice touch as well. Rather than being bombarded as such, it's the asteroids are being attracted to the planet. They're not being thrown at it from an exterior force. It's an interior force that's pulling them towards the planet, so they strike and cause damage, which I think is quite a nice inversion of the usual sort of tale of these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's also why the ship failed as well, which does make me wonder in a way, right? So the Tractators are hollowing out the planet so they can eventually drive it across the universe and spread their species. But if they could control gravity, they could literally just drag a spaceship down and use that instead. That's maybe designed for it. But then actually no, because actually it kind of works in a way that the Dalek invasion of Earth doesn't work, right? So in the Dalek invasion of Earth, they want to do the same thing, steer Earth around and invade lots of other things, which is completely bonkers. The whole idea of dropping their drive core in the middle of the planet and using that in some way. But using gravity kind of works because the interactions of gravity. You can sling things around, other stuff. Clearly, if they can increase the mass of an object and make it more attractive or something, then that's all you need to steer yourself around space-time, surely.
That's it. That's all. That's
actually a really neat idea, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, better minds than me will say, yeah, the science could actually work. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it could. I'm just thinking about the Tractators singing "Defying Gravity" now. That's
yeah. Well, they are pretty wicked, aren't they?
There's no escaping
I'm
from
surprised no one's done "Defying Mavity" yet.
Stop with the mavity thing.
He hates it, Jonathan, as you can tell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Absolutely hates it.
It's almost like everything in the current series is doing its best to throw me out. That's it, kill the Tractator! Give me the eyes! Have him, son! That's a brilliant close-up, isn't it, of the creature?
One of them had a glowing green underbelly, which looked quite cool.
Yeah, that's where they generate gravity from, mavity.
Mavity, there we are. We'll get you saying it, don't worry.
No, it's never going to happen! No, please! Tunnels act as waveguides, concentrating the gravitational forces. Yeah. Like it. Mind you, here's the thing. I think in the 80s as well, the idea of gravity waves was little more than a theory. I think now it's kind of established that gravity can be present in a waveform as such. But here it was all kind of supposition and theory.
Oh,
He's
having a little flap.
He's freaked him out.
No, look, he's still.
Oh, that wasn't happy, is it? Face on the floor! That's the way to go, isn't it?
Do you know how I would have finished the Tractators off?
Go on, how?
A massive explosion of slime coming out of them.
Ooh. Well, you know what? You might have your wish yet, Mr. Geoff.
Never know.
Not to give things away.
Yeah.
Do they explode? We ain't
seen the last of them yet.
Blast of slime.
I mean, there was a lot of slime in 80s Doctor Who, wasn't there? Was he trying to pull his eye out? Oh no, there we go.
It looked like he, but yeah.
It did get spoon in his eye. Just pop it out there. And keep away from that blade, Doctor. Can you imagine that done done in the modern era with thrashing wires, all CGI'd up and everything, looking really quite nasty.
Oh
no!
Oh no, it's got brazen. Gravis is
save yourselves. Save yourselves.
That's it, yeah. The Doctor still wants to save him, even though he's been pretty nasty to him for most of the show.
Down
comes the blade.
Everybody. Yeah,
it's a redeeming quality, isn't it?
Yes, I like their helmets.
Yeah,
they sort of look like my son's lampshade.
Yeah.
So this is the guy who survived being sucked down. Actually seems like he's quite a decent person.
Why is that guy standing like that? It's him.
Which one? What, one of the guards?
Yeah, he's. I sawed myself there. That guy on the right there.
He doesn't know what to do with his hands.
He probably has. Yeah. Scary situation.
Frontios is doomed.
Oh.
So Turlough's trying to tell them what the Tractators are what they're up to, and the Doctor says, "Yes, not now. Later." Ooh, ominous rumbling.
Yeah.
I just realised as well, is one of their arms higher than the other? They kind of slightly asymmetric.
Hard to tell because they're flapping those little arms around like crazy.
Little tyrannosaur arms.
I think that's the one, the two movable bits of the costume. So that's all the emotions.
Yeah. That's all you've got to work with, guys. The race through the tunnels.
So, Jonathan, if you could do any classic or old enemy for a comic, what would you do that you haven't already done, like the Cybermen?
That we haven't already done. Well, I mean, it'd be quite nice to go back and find a monster that maybe you could slightly reimagine and really, something like the Mandrills from Nightmare of Eden.
Oh, yeah.
The Naimon, I always think was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily a classic. I mean, it's a classic monster, but not necessarily a classic monster. I quite like to. This is a massive. A massive discussion to get into when there's 9 minutes left of the episode. I'd quite like to do the Dalek paradigm from and maybe have a sort of discover where they went to, because I've got very happy memories of going to the Doctor Who experience, and they absolutely terrified a young child just in front of us to the point she was absolutely in hysterics.
Quite big,
and it was like, poor kid, I hope she's okay now. But at the same time, they did work.
I quite liked them. I just and typically with talking over the bit that really freaks me out as a kid. It was like one of those wow moments when the TARDIS is revealed embedded within the rocks.
And
I
that's
thought
really
the
cool.
idea of that was just brilliant. To have the TARDIS shredded and scattered across the planet in fragments. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't think we've ever seen that in Doctor Who, and haven't since. But the idea of that is just brilliant.
There was a little bit in Eve of the Daleks and stuff, wasn't there, with the TARDIS being all and Flux TARDIS being
again, it all kind of points to the TARDIS being made of different stuff, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's the fact that weird things can happen to it.
But this was so unprecedented at the time, because the TARDIS, we've seen the TARDIS land round a Dalek, we've seen the TARDIS do this, do that, we've seen, the Kablam little box come into the TARDIS and stuff. But back in these days, once they were in the TARDIS, that was it. They were completely safe. No one could ever get in. No one could get out. You're in a real, and so to see this and this whole was huge.
It really was. Yeah,
absolutely huge. And I love that whole thing of, just to go back a bit, where Tegan's being menaced, and then the Doctor just opens the door and brings her in, and and the Doctor's kind of figured out. I think that's something I quite like. The Doctor is otherworldly, and he's figured it out before the companion. He's figured it out before anyone else. He's on top of it, and I love this whole thing now that he's on top of the situation, and he knows at this point how to defeat these guys, and he's a little bit smug with it.
Absolutely, he is, isn't he? You know, the Doctor here is completely smug with his idea. He knows what he's going to do. It's just now a question of coercing the Gravis into doing what he wants. Yeah. And he seems to kind of enjoy it to some degree as well.
Yeah.
What, this whole thing? Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, he's figured out the plan a lot. I think that's just fantastic. Really good. Davison plays it so brilliantly as well.
Yeah. And I think, again, Chris Bidmead, you know, is giving him all the stuff that, you know, the Fifth Doctor, you know, needs or is good at. You know, he's writing for him. I mean, I don't think anybody really gets the Fifth Doctor as much as Chris Bidmead does. He's just, he's just bang on the money.
So, if I could have any monster return in a comic.
Are you back on that one, are you?
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Go on, mate. Sorry.
I'd ask you to call Chris Chibnall, get the idea for Patings, and bring Patings to paper. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Patings. Go on, tell me.
Yeah, a sequel to the Saranga conundrum with loads of Patings. Alien to
Patings.
aliens. Yeah. Patings. He told us about that, and I was like, "Oh my god, why haven't we had it?" Did I mention it again when we spoke to him recently, Paul?
You might have done.
Big finish, yeah.
I like this again. It's like, oh no, anything but the TARDIS. Please don't take the TARDIS.
It's great. I love it. It's really good.
That's good.
And also, you know, these are really powerful creatures. They've pulled us apart a TARDIS. It's like, you know, again, the TARDIS indestructible, essentially, up to this point in the show.
This is, again, one of the reasons why I think, you know, the idea of a creature that's able to manipulate gravity to that kind of extent is, it opens up a lot of ideas, you know, a lot of potential for massive destruction, you know. Because imagine, you know, a tractator could probably collapse a star or something, turn it into a black hole, you know, create a singularity out of nothing just by compressing matter so that it's so dense, or even just recreating a sort of gravity something that has the same power as a singularity or black hole or something, you know. I love the idea of that. That's a really destructive thing. I love the idea, you know, obviously we're yet to see how this is going to play out, but the Gravis doesn't, you know, it's still there for future stories, isn't it? You know, it's.
Yeah, I think there was a talk of coming back. I think from Colin Baker's.
Oh yeah.
I think there was a script at one point for the return of the Tractators.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and obviously got shelved with everything else, didn't it?
In fact, I think it was going to be called The Hollows of Time.
There you
I might be wrong, but yeah, I think I vaguely remember. But obviously, it's quite a turbulent time for the show. So.
Now there is a lost script to be comicked.
Comicked.
To comicked.
To comic.
Or not to comic.
Changing nouns into adverbs again.
I'm pretty sure Big Finish would probably have already jumped in on that one, but
yeah, they did.
I like that as well. The Tractator, you know, the leader of the trade is just without the others. You know,
they're just insects, aren't they? Just
they're just
giant,
insects.
harmless, tunnelling insects. Which makes you wonder about the Gravis. You know, why is the Gravis the way he is? Is he just some kind of freak mutation? Is he the result of bioengineering, some sort of bioweapon or something? You know, there's a whole mine of stuff that you could pull out for that.
Talking of mind of stuff, you've literally had the Doctor, Dr. Tegan and the Gravis, and you've got probably, you know, there could well be a whole decade of adventures right there.
Well, indeed, yeah. Lost adventures of, yeah. And if Chameleon really is the hatstand, then he's left behind there. So you can have the adventures of Chameleon as a hatstand.
Yeah.
That TARDIS prop is pretty battered up there, isn't it?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Well, you should have seen it a few minutes before. It was bits.
I suppose
quite well in comparison.
Yeah, it's justifiable for the plot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just getting itself back together. Yeah.
So this is the Doctor telling the people Frontios not to tell the Time Lords that he was here ever. Don't mention it. Literally, don't mention it to anyone.
I love that. I just, like.
Brilliant.
Very strange, like.
He's left the hatstand behind. It's a sort of memento.
It's always the way as a Doctor starts to go, they start, it's like K9 leaving in Warrior's Gate, the hatstand goes in Frontios, and then Turlough goes, and Tegan goes, and
getting rid of the furniture.
It's kind of like stripping down all the bits.
Yeah.
And I love this. I love, again, it happened occasionally, I guess, back in this time, but
not
the idea
often,
the lead into the to the next story.
Yeah. So again, the story ends on a cliffhanger. It's almost like back in the Hartnell days, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Look at that. What's going on with the TARDIS? Tune in next week to find out. As it was.
And the thing is, you knew what was coming.
That
was it when you watched this. It's, oh my god, it's the Daleks. That's kind of strange because he says like we're being dragged to the centre of the universe, and I think they end up in Wapping. I don't know if that is.
Right.
Is there something we don't know about Wapping?
Yeah. It's the centre of the universe. That's why the Daleks invaded in 2250, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant!
That was really good.
I love Frontios. I've forgotten. I know I've always loved it, but I just forget how brilliant, how much I love it. I genuinely think this is one of the best Doctor Who stories there is. It's certainly one that appeals to me a lot more than many others, for sure.
Yeah,
I will
really
hear no negative comments about Frontios at all.
Well, you weren't going to get any from me.
It's your first time watching it, isn't it, Geoff? Actually,
yeah, it was. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts then?
Yeah, I enjoyed that, and it's really interesting listening to you guys talk about it, as you know it really well. And as always, when we watch them like this, you've got kind of one eye on the episode itself, and then another, is listening to the conversation. So it's one to go back to. And watch again.
You're going to watch it properly then? You're going to sit down in front of it and go through it?
Good
man, I would highly recommend that to all our listeners, especially if this is the first time you're watching Frontios.
First time,
Yeah. It's good fun,
so, Jonathan, what episode would you like to propose as the next watch along?
Well,
what did we say in the chat the other day? Nightmare in Eden.
Nightmare in Eden. I love Nightmare in Eden. I love Enlightenment.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I could talk about any of them, to be honest. I could, whether or not it'd be entertaining for the listeners, I don't know, but I could definitely talk about any. I mean, Nightmare in Eden, I absolutely love. Yeah, Nightmare in Eden, I think would be a great one to do.
Maybe we should hold it out to a poll. So
I was just going to say, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it live whilst we're talking.
Yeah. So what do you say? So you say Enlightenment, Nightmare of Eden, and one more.
Or one more, The Chase.
Oh, The Chase.
The Chase. It's an epic.
Yes.
I mean,
that's an idea.
The much loved classic, The Chase. No, I love The Chase. Have you seen The Chase, Geoff?
I don't. Is it on the collection set?
It's on the season 2.
Yeah. I think I have seen that one. Yeah. So Nightmare on Eden.
Don't be so disappointed.
I have seen that one.
Oh no.
What was the other? What other one were we thinking?
Enlightenment.
Linda Barron. Just
chewing that scenery.
The Chase. Should I put The Chase?
The Chase. Yeah, definitely put The Chase.
Not the one with Bradley Walsh.
No.
I
can't fit that text on there. Okay, let me pick something. How about we do another Third Doctor?
What can't you fit on? What are you struggling with, Mr. G?
No, I was going to put The Chase and then in brackets, not Bradley Walsh.
Okay.
How about?
Well, as a number 4.
Oh wow.
How about the Time Warrior.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a bit of left field. Yeah, I've seen that one for a while.
Interesting. I like your thinking.
Okay,
Indeed.
I'll put it down.
Jeff, you just elevated yourself in my estimation, mate. You just earned yourself some brownie points, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time Warrior.
Time Warrior.
What serial should we watch on commentate? All right,
Claire's
I'm posting it. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. I know Third Doctor stories a lot more because I've watched a lot more of that. You know, when I was buying, the DVD sets, not the collection. So I've seen quite a lot. And at the moment, I've been rewatching season 8 on the collection, so I've got 2 left of Colony in Space at the moment. So
that's one of my favourites. I love that one.
So that's really good.
Again, it's another one with humans on an alien planet, isn't it?
With
outdone by
with the added bonus. I think one of them is Gale from Coronation Street.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Fantastic. And whenever she laughs about it, is so lovely about it. She's like, oh yes, no, that was lovely to do.
Yeah, because she gets on with Joe quite well as well, doesn't she? And it's nice to see Joe having that sort of friendship. And then we got the evil mining corporation. So it's one of those Mac Holt kind of agronomist versus the big corp.
It's one of those political ones that that they only do nowadays apparently, but they've done all along.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. With a weapon of mass destruction, an alien weapon at the core of the planet, which obviously the Master wants to get hold of. So that's a cracking good story. I love it.
I always though whenever I watch it, I'm slightly disappointed because the book is so fantastic.
It is. It's
the
really
Target book has so much in it. So much more in it,
it always confused me that though, because in the novel that's Joe's first story, isn't it? Or when she goes in the TARDIS, it's the first time.
Yeah, there's I think there's a prelude on Gallifrey, and it's all kind of.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's straight like I always have this memory of Planet of the not Planet of the Dinosaurs, Planet of the spiders. The spiders.
Spiders.
And it whenever I watch the actual episode, I always think, oh, hang on, where's the bit with Joe on the Amazon? And it's just missing. It's just because I read it as a kid and I was just
in the book.
Oh, why have they edited this episode? Why have they edited Joe?
It was never there. It was never there. Times.
Yes, Susan at the start of the Five Doctors in the in an abandoned market
in the future of
London, being chased. Oh dear. It's good for the imagination, if nothing else. But
it is.
Yes, that's a good list of potential.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple of votes already. The chase is in the lead.
I kind of get the feeling the chase is going to win. Well, no, actually, by the time this episode goes out, this poll will be done and dusted. So
yes, we'll know.
This is in a weird timey-wimey kind of thing. Yeah. The outcome is already sealed.
Yeah, we'll be returning to...
Sorry, am I 6? I think it's good. Yeah, I think I would vote for the chase, actually.
You can just head over.
Oh, can I? Yeah, that's not right.
In fact, you can rig the poll.
I can rig the poll. Yeah.
See, now you've got me thinking about Time Warrior. That's.
I do like the Time Warrior.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Well, anyway, we shall see what will be, won't we? But I thoroughly enjoyed Frontios. I thought that was a lot of good fun.
That was great.
And I hope those of you watching along with us enjoyed it too. It's brought back some memories for sure. I was a 12-year-old kid again watching that. Yeah, it's just great fun. But it's a good story. I love it. Did I mention I love it? Did I mention that anywhere?
I'm not sure.
Let's underscore it now. I love Frontios. It's a brilliant story. Thanks for suggesting that to us, Jonathan. Really enjoyed it.
No, thanks for indulging me.
No, you're welcome.
Our pleasure. Well, we will keep an eye on that poll, and then we will get together again in a few weeks and watch through whatever is the winner of that. And the
winner of that, the pub. Oh, and also the winner of the competition as well. What figure has moved or is missing or is otherwise displaced from the display beyond Jonathan's background there.
Yeah.
In his background.
Let us know the first comment. Maybe, Paul, we should.
What's that, mate?
It'll be the first comment on YouTube, won't it? Because that's where you see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we can't have multiple sites. So the first
on
comment
YouTube.
on YouTube. That
We've got to look at our YouTube channel. We
Yeah.
can do a few more people watching our YouTube channel.
Yes,
actually.
please do. Yeah, we're inching towards 1,000 subscribers, and it'd be lovely to
amazing, isn't it?
hit
then
that.
we do have faces for radio, so
I know, but
replace ourselves with AI or something.
We also have great people coming on to talk about stuff with us.
Do.
So,
there you go.
Which should be enough of a reason in itself.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, we will bid you all TTFN, and we will catch you very soon on the Who Corner to Corner podcast.
Indeed. Until next time, and thanks, of course, to our very special guest again, Mr. Jonathan Wilkins.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you, mate. We'll see you again at the next one, whichever it's going to be. Thank you, listeners, watchers, viewers. Bye for now. See you next time.
Vote Time Warrior. Vote Time Warrior.
The chase, is the one.